Jockers, and today we're talking about 10 nutrients to improve your thyroid function. Thyroid disease literally affects, roughly 30 million women, or really 30 million people, I should say, throughout the United States. It's extremely underdiagnosed, and really it's something all of us need to pay attention to. When you have issues with your thyroid, that's going to affect your metabolism, your ability to lose weight, your ability to produce energy. So cellular energy, very much dependent upon healthy thyroid function. And again, as a clinician, this is one of the most misdiagnosed issues that I see out there. When people are having issues with hair loss, particularly women with hair loss, usually a thyroid issue, particularly if it's the outer third of their eyebrow, weight loss, feeling cold often, right? That can be an issue. Energy issues, very much related to thyroid. So we're going to jump into the best nutrients and foods to support your thyroid function in this presentation. And so if you don't know me, my name's Dr. David Jockers. I am a doctor of natural medicine, and I really specialize in helping people improve their digestion, their energy, and their overall performance and quality of life. This is my beautiful wife, Angel, my little boys, David and Joshua. And so as we jump into this topic, here are really the 10 major nutrients that play such a critical role in overall thyroid function. We're gonna dive into each one of these. But iodine, which is huge because basically when you look at thyroid hormone, you have T4, T3. Basically, I have T1, T2, T3, and T4. T4 is the most commonly produced thyroid hormone. And when it says T4, basically what it is a thyroglobulin backbone, which is a protein backbone with tyrosine as the major amino acid, with 4 iodine molecules. So 4 iodines, and then it converts into T3, which is active thyroid hormone, where it loses 1 iodine. And that is done by an enzyme called 5-deiodinase. Really, really key that we activate thyroid hormone by converting T4 to T3. And we'll talk about things that do that, including selenium and zinc, right? So iodine, obviously key for the production of thyroid hormone. Selenium and zinc, really important for conversion of T4 to T3. Selenium is also really, really key for keeping autoimmunity and inflammation of the thyroid gland under control. Okay, so if we want to keep autoimmunity and prevent nodules and goiters and just thyroiditis, inflammation of the thyroid gland, then we need adequate selenium. Fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, for example, really, really key for getting thyroid hormone to actually have its biological function within the cells. So once we get active thyroid hormone into the body, right, into the bloodstream, right, it's converted from T4 into active T3. Now we've got to make sure it's interacting in the cell and interacting with the cell nucleus. And vitamin A is very important for that. Vitamin D is as well. Iron, really important. If we have poor iron levels, then we're going to have poor oxygen extraction. It's going to affect our T4 to T3 conversion and overall our ability to produce thyroid hormone. BComplex is really key for T4 to T3 conversion and T3 utilization. Tyrosine makes up the backbone. It's the major amino acid in the backbone of the thyroglobulin molecule. Vitamin C, really important for keeping stress hormones balanced. And basically, when stress hormones are out of control, when they're out of whack, we're going to have very poor T4 to T3 conversion. And oftentimes we can elevate something called reverse T3 and overall just have poor T3 expression at the cells. Omega-3 fatty acids, really key for reducing inflammation in the body and improving all hormone sensitivity. So all hormones are really, omega-3s play a key role with insulin, with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, and neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. So we need those omega-3 fats, are so key. And then finally, thyroid bovine glandulars. So using glandulars, ideally from like a grass-fed cow, can be really, really good for helping the body to produce T4, T3. And so sometimes those can be very helpful, and we use those clinically to help people that have poor thyroid function. So let's jump into the major signs that you may have an underactive thyroid. Well, unexplained weight gain is a big one. So if you're having trouble losing weight, or you seem to be gaining weight, even though it's not like you don't feel like you're overeating or having major issues with gluttony, it could definitely be a thyroid issue. Constant fatigue and tiredness, very much related to thyroid. Thyroid hormone is necessary within every cell of the body. Every single cell needs thyroid hormone or it can't produce cellular energy. So if you're fatigued and tired, it's probably a sign your thyroid is you're having poor expression of thyroid hormone in your cells. So it may not be an issue with the actual thyroid gland, maybe more of an issue with the conversion process and the utilization of the thyroid hormone by the cells. Muscle soreness and pain. This is really common. A lot of people have issues with pain and soreness when they have poor thyroid function. Menstrual and fertility issues. Basically, when thyroid hormone goes down, the body says, hey, we're in a dangerous time. We need to conserve energy, and we can't be focusing on giving birth, right? Or propagating the species, I guess you could say. And so instead, it starts to shut that down. And so dry and flaky skin, thyroid hormone is super key for sebaceous gland production, which is the oil that keeps our skin moist. So if we're not producing enough thyroid hormone, we're not going to have good skin. We're also going to have high cholesterol levels. One of the most common causes of high cholesterol is actually poor thyroid hormone expression. It's very important for regulating LDL receptor activity. And when you don't have proper thyroid hormone production, you're not going to have enough LDL receptors, and therefore your LDL levels will be higher, right? And also oftentimes because your cellular metabolism's lower, your triglycerides will be higher as well, and your HDL will be lower. So terrible triad of high LDL, low HDL, and high triglycerides, oftentimes an issue with thyroid, okay? Poor concentration of memory. We need thyroid hormone expression in the brain in order for those neurons to fire effectively. So if they're not getting that thyroid hormone expression, oftentimes we'll have brain fog, we'll have inability to concentrate, poor memory, and we'll just feel like our brain's not functioning well. We'll have early signs of dementia. So these are all signs that you may have an underactive thyroid. So let's look at some of the major things that really impact thyroid hormone production and utilization. So in order to produce thyroid hormone, the key nutrients we need, iron. So we need oxygen. Iron's key for that, for bringing oxygen, obviously, through hemoglobin up into the thyroid. Iodine, which is, we talked about, one of the major players in thyroid hormone production. Tyrosine, which plays the backbone. Zinc, selenium is super key. Fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin E and vitamin D are really important. B vitamins, which we've talked about, vitamin C, all really important for producing thyroid hormone. You can see it things that inhibit thyroid hormone. So when we're under a lot of stress, that reduces our ability to produce thyroid hormone. It could also be, things like infections, physical trauma, radiation exposure can lower it. Some medications reduce thyroid hormone production as well. In particular, medications that are more sedative in nature, right? Sedatives, and then also things like proton pump inhibitors, which reduce our ability to absorb key nutrients like zinc and iron, and iodine can have a big role with this as well. Consuming too much fluoride, which they put in tap water and also dental treatments with fluoride, it's an antagonist to iodine, so it competes with iodine for uptake. And so if you don't get enough iodine uptake, you're not going to be able to produce enough thyroid hormone. Different toxins, pesticides, heavy metals like mercury, cadmium, lead, all impact thyroid hormone production. And autoimmune diseases like celiac disease or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, these can play a huge role with nutrient absorption and reducing our ability to produce enough thyroid hormone and causing inflammation and autoimmunity oftentimes to the thyroid gland. Something called Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune destruction of the thyroid leading to lower thyroid hormone expression by the cells, or Graves' disease, which is basically autoimmune destruction of the thyroid gland characterized by high overproduction of thyroid hormone, which can be deadly. So now the body releases T4, which is inactive thyroid hormone. What does that mean? That means that T4 is really not utilized by the cell to produce thyroid hormone. So it needs to convert into T3. And what will happen is a small percentage will convert into this reverse T3, which is an inactive form of T3. But things that will elevate that conversion are going to be things related to stress. That's going to elevate reverse T3, which basically puts our body into a lower thyroid hormone expression state. It's kind of like, again, if we have an infection, we're under a lot of stress, the body wants to hibernate. So it reduces thyroid hormone expression. So it reduces cellular energy production in the body. So we're tired, so we rest. Okay, because the body says we're in a dangerous place. We are possibly in a time of critical stress, possibly famine. So we need to hunker down. And so that's kind of the mechanism that happens. Now, things we need in order to get a good release of T4 to T3. And having that good conversion of T4 to T3 makes all the world a difference when it comes to your energy, your weight loss. We need selenium and zinc, super, super, super critical. And then to basically get the thyroid hormone to have a good expression within the cell, we need vitamin A. We need healthy movement, exercise in general, improving oxygenation is going to really play a big role with that. And then zinc as well. So zinc is key for T4 to T3 and then also for utilization in the cell. So these are nutrients we need. So where are we going to get iodine from? Sea vegetables are a great source. So fish, as well as like wild-caught fish, wild-caught sockeye salmon, sardines, and then also doing some sea vegetable. I don't recommend doing really high dose iodine. I find that most people with a thyroid issue are not deficient in iodine. They may need a little bit of support with iodine, but they're not deficient in it. They usually have poor conversion of T4 to T3. They can produce enough thyroid hormone, they just are not converting well. And they also have autoimmunity, where the body's own immune system is attacking the thyroid. So we need things that, if they do bring in iodine, we need selenium as well. Okay, because if we don't get the selenium with the iodine, we're going to have more inflammation, autoimmunity against the thyroid. So very important we get things with selenium. So fish, wild-caught fish, has the right ratio of iodine to selenium. Selenium helps recycle something called hydrogen peroxide, which is produced and utilized in the process of producing thyroid hormone. And we need that selenium in order to produce glutathione peroxidase, which helps recycle the hydrogen peroxide and make sure that it's not tissue damaging to the thyroid. If we don't do that, we're going to get more tissue destruction of the thyroid, leading to things like nodules. So sea vegetable can be really, really good as far as this goes. I'm a big fan of using that to help with thyroid. And just really, it's a great mineral source. So a great way to get trace minerals into the body is through sea vegetables. Okay, omega-3 fatty acids. Definitely a big fan of this, particularly cold water fish. I'm a huge fan of doing fish oils to get EPA and DHA, which reduces inflammation in the whole body, reduces autoimmunity, helps improve the cell receptor function, which improves our hormone uptake, basically, our cell's ability to utilize hormone like thyroid hormone. So very important. Where do we get EPA and DHA? We're going to get it from cold water fish. So wild-caught sockeye salmon, fish low in the food chain that are low in heavy metals like sardines and herring are also really good. High quality purified fish oil. Also, seaweed has some DHA, so spirulina, chlorella, things like that. And then grass-fed animal products are also a good source. So we want those, a lot of those in our diet. Selenium. Selenium is just so critical for our immune system, so critical for reducing our risk of cancer, heart disease, just basically regulating our immune system. And very important for thyroid. A lot of research out about selenium deficiency and autoimmune thyroid. And research has shown that taking 200 micrograms of selenomethionine has been shown to reduce autoimmunity in people with Hashimoto's anywhere from 25 up to 40%, right? Reduce their antibodies. And then taking 400 micrograms for 6 months was able to reduce it over 50%. So big drops in antibodies just by adding in high quality selenomethionine. Now, good selenium food sources are going to be wild-caught fish, sea vegetable, Brazil nuts. Okay, but when I'm dealing with somebody that has a thyroid issue, I'm looking to supplement with L-selenomethionine, usually about 200 micrograms, 100 to 200 micrograms. And so I have two supplements that have that. We have one called Thyroid Strong. We also have another one called Thyro Liver Protect, and I'll go over those at the end. Okay, zinc deficiencies, which is super common in our society. Why? Because when we have blood sugar imbalances from a high carbohydrate diet, we actually utilize up zinc sources. And heavy metals and things like copper compete with binding sites with zinc. So if we're taking in a lot of heavy metals like mercury, lead, things like that from our food or from our, let's say, amalgam fillings or something along those lines, then we're going to have less zinc stores. Zinc helps displace heavy metals. So zinc is a key part of getting rid of heavy metals out of our body. It's also really, really important for the immune system, for proper hormone production, very important for women, for progesterone production, for example, and then very important for T4 to T3 conversion, and then T3 utilization in the cell. So when we're under stress, when we have toxin exposure, leaky gut, malabsorption issues, when we're taking different medications, particularly medications that block stomach acid production, as well as NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These things deplete our zinc levels. So if you've been on one of those, or you've had a lot of stress in your life, and you're not supplementing with zinc, I would definitely recommend getting on a good zinc supplement. It's very inexpensive and makes a huge difference in your overall health. Okay, here are some foods that are high in zinc: oysters, chicken, grass-fed dairy, cashews, watermelon seeds, almonds, spinach, asparagus, red meat. We talked about wild caught fish like salmon. Pumpkin seeds are really the best um, vegetarian source of zinc. Would be pumpkin seeds. Or ideally, sprouted pumpkin seeds are a really good source. So these are your main sources. Okay, oysters are very high in them. One thing with oysters, though, those mollusks, they do have environmental toxins. So, I mean, think about it. They're kind of like trash cans. They're filtering the taking a lot of toxins. So I'm not a huge fan of doing the oysters. I'd prefer to see you eat a lot of wild caught sockeye salmon, sardines, herring, things like that can be really helpful for zinc sources, as well as omega-3 fats. And in general, grass-fed animal products, a huge fan of grass-fed butter. This is an awesome food loaded with vitamin A. So we talked about we need that vitamin A for nuclear activity to get the thyroid hormone expression at the nucleus. We need that. It's also a good source of vitamin D and K2, which are key for the immune system, as well as so reducing autoimmunity, for example, and inflammation, and very, very good for bone metabolism, getting calcium out of the bloodstream and into the bones properly. Also, they're very good for the gut. Okay, so really good with short chain fatty acids that help support our gut microbiome, reduce inflammation in our body. Good source of omega-3s, other major compounds like magnesium, lecithin, which is very key for brain function, neurotransmitter function. Also, a good source of selenium. So, huge fan of using grass-fed butter on your foods. And then vitamin C, here's some of the best foods to consume for vitamin C. And look how much bell peppers have, like yellow bell peppers and really bell peppers in general. Very, very, very good vitamin C source. So those are good things to have in your diet, unless you have a sensitivity to nightshade vegetables, because bell peppers are in the nightshade family. But lemons and limes, I'm also a huge fan of. Guava has a little high in sugar, but you look at lemons and limes, there's a lot of vitamin C in there. And so I would definitely recommend doing organic lemon juice or lime juice, or even better, doing fresh squeezed lemon or lime. Put it on a salad dressing, squeeze it in water, get that vitamin C, get the bioflavonoids with it. Really good. So berries can be good sources, green leafy vegetables, broccoli, kale, things like that. A lot of the fruit, because of the sugar content, you do have to watch out with the sugar content, but definitely go for the vegetables, lemons, limes, and maybe some berries to get good sources of vitamin C. Okay, B-complex, just so important. When we think about, for example, B6 is huge for the creation of serotonin, for hormone metabolism, really important for that. Vitamin B1, very important for nervous system activity and blood sugar regulation. B2, very important for mitochondrial health, so producing energy within the cells. Folate, really important for methylation, the whole methylation process, and turning on good healthy genes, and also for proper hormone production. I mean, just so many important things with all of these. B5, really key for production of things like cortisol, so good stress hormone production. B3, just really, really key for helping with digestion, healthy sleep, reducing anxiety. You got things like B12, just so important for nerve function, nerve system function, brain function, energy, metabolism, mitochondrial health. So we got to get good high quality Bs. Okay. And so oftentimes with my thyroid patients, I do see on testing that they're low in B vitamins. And I'll use this supplement right here, B Strong, which is a methylated form, which means that it's a pre-activated form of these key B vitamins. Very important for balancing blood sugar, improving nervous system activity, improving your adrenals, your immune system, circulation, and brain health. So B Strong will definitely help with your thyroid hormone utilization in the cell. And then this supplement right here, Thyroid Strong, basically is a combination of bovine thyroid hormones. So it's glandulars that help stimulate thyroid hormone production and provide thyroid hormone, exogenous thyroid hormone, kind of like similar to like what a medication would, but in a natural form. It also has tyrosine, that major amino acid. It has some iodine in there, balanced with the right amount of selenium to keep inflammation, autoimmunity under control. So Thyroid Strong can be really, really helpful for people for supporting their thyroid hormone production and utilization. So I hope you guys got a lot out of today's training. You can get a lot more in the article that I linked to this video. So check out that article on 10 nutrients to improve your thyroid, where I give a thorough explanation of each one of these nutrients. You'll get a lot out of that. And I hope to see you on a future training. God bless you guys, and we will see you soon.